Existence is magical. Our lives are magical. We don't see it. We expect so often, popular media tells us that magic is chosen ones, and magic is good versus evil, and it's Dungeons and Dragons and stuff. And as much as I like Dungeons and Dragons and big epic fantasy, the fact of the matter is that our daily lives are miraculous in ways that we so seldom realize. And in terms of genre, Red Shoes could be described as an urban fantasy, but what it really is on a lot of levels is a wake up call. It's a wake up call about healing. It's a wake up call about justice. It's a wake up call about giving a shit. But more than anything else, it's about recognizing how fucking magical we are. Our lives are urban fantasy. And it's so hard to see that. And especially the last few years with the pandemic and with the shutdown, with the constant fighting on social media and politicians dividing us against each other, we are being distracted and allowing ourselves to be distracted from just how fucking magical we are and how fucking magical life is. I mean, right now, we've got four friends here in a virtual room and three different time zones across 3,000 miles, and we're all here. And right now, whoever you are who is watching this, you're watching this at some distant point, in some distant place, and yet for the moment, we're all here together. That's fucking magic. And I want people to see that. That's what I try and get people to see with Mage. That's what I try to get people to see with Deliria. And that's what I wanted to get people to see with Red Shoes. Because ultimately, Red Shoes is about giving a shit. It's about realizing that magic is us. That it's as my spouse Damiana Swan says, magic is a verb. Magic is the fine art of getting off your ass and doing something, and that's what I wrote about here. There were so many years where I spent sitting, and pounding my brain out against a genre, and I just said, this isn't working. This isn't working. The point where it finally started working was 6 years ago. I just sat down on November 1st, and said, you know what? I just want to tell a story about my life. But yeah, it's filtered through fiction and sort of fictional counterparts and interesting combination characters of me of me and Suj, and other people, and some people who are actually have fictional counterparts in the book itself, like our friend Inky, and our friend Kristen, who is there's an interesting story behind that we could get to shortly, who really got really brought Suj and me together as friends, um, and about Sandy, Damiana, um, and it's about how we just I wanted to do a story about how our real lives are magical, not because we, are practitioners, though some of us are, and not because we look like wizards, when some of us do, but because we see the world a little bit differently and want to inspire other people to see it differently too, and to realize how fucking powerful we can be when we stop fighting with each other, when we stop limiting ourselves and stop being put into boxes by other people, and start growing into who we could be, about who we want to be. At the beginning of Red Shoes, Janae is somebody who wants to be a hero. And, she wants to be a hero in the World of Warcraft fashion. She talks about her World of Warcraft character. And, she's training at a fitness gym because, she kind of wants to feel as badass as the characters that she loves. And then when she's actually confronted with and puts herself into, to be honest, situations where, um, where heroism, where heroism is possible, but she learns that heroism has costs. She starts realizing, oh crap, this is bigger than I expected, and she's not sure if she can rise to that challenge. But well, hopefully, like all of us, she does. And the biggest the reason she's able to do that is because she begins to see how big and feel and ultimately become part of how big and magical existence really is. That's what I want from Red Shoes. The campaign that we're putting on today, well, today that we're putting on this month, the campaign we're putting together is partly to get people to read this. And this book is finished, as we can see. It's already at press. All we have to do is just put in the number of orders at the end of the month. Ivory Tara Blair has done an amazing audiobook performance and production of the book, and we have it available digitally as well, so it's accessible in all kinds of different formats, can be shipped all over the world without having to worry about the shipping costs if you're not buying a print copy. Um, and ideally, we would love to do more stuff with Red Shoes. The book itself is done, but Suj has talked about we've talked about doing possibly a companion album. We can talk more about that shortly. We even had a really cool fucking idea that came up when the four of us were talking yesterday that I'd like to talk about eventually. And the the campaign is partly, to get the book out there. It's partly to make sure the people who are involved in this not only get paid. I paid the people who worked on this, and paid people, like actual professional grown-up money. But I want to do more, and I want to get people more involved. Not just me. It's not just about my story. It's about us. It's about you, and it's about what we can become when we stop allowing ourselves to be so limited and start seeing the world the way it really is and the way we can really